Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Amityville Exorcism. It's a horror, came out in 2017. Don't have a rating, but I'm going to go with 18 or something, maybe 15. An hour and 17 minutes. IMDb is a 1.8 out of 10. It's on YouTube, hence the reason why it's no Amazon thing. So the synopsis is: a family must put faith in a mysterious priest when a demonic force connected to decades-old murders in their home possesses their daughter. That's not actually strictly true with the connected bit, but what do I know? So the director is Mark Polonia, who directed Camp Murder. Producer, well, there's two of them, but the producer on is Mark again, who produced Motorboat. Music was by John Rayl, R-A-Y-L, who did Blood Red Planet, and Greg Stanina, who did Landshark. I've reviewed Landshark, so it's on my channel somewhere. The cast, we have Jeff Kirkendall, who was Father Benner, who was in Cocaine Werewolf. Maria De Lorenzo, who was Amy Duquesne, she was in Amityville Island. I think I've got that to review at one point. James Carolus, who was Jeremy Duquesne, who was in Landshark, and Austin Dragovich, who was Robbie, who was also in Landshark, and it's also known as The Amityville Exorcism. So just to kind of like help you, you know when you watch a film, and the first 5 or 10 minutes kind of tells you if it's going to be a good film, an awesome film, you know, one of those films that you're not exactly sure what's going to go on, but you're kind of curious, or an absolute shite film. I bet you can't guess what this one is. So at the very beginning, my eyeballs. So we have some voice in the background. I had no idea what he was saying. Let's pretend it's in Latin or something like that. And then there's images flashing up with some crappy glitchy noise, like that kind of noise, following, as in POV, a hammer with paint on it, blood, and then everything that we saw then was having those seizure-inducing flickers, so we kept seeing somebody. I was like, my God, my eyes. And this is literally at the very beginning. And it's like the dude that did the killing is about to die on death row. The vicar, or the priest, is there, asking what he wants. And the reply, I'll speak to God Almighty tomorrow. And I'm like, I don't think you will, because I'm not that up on the Bible, but I'm pretty sure if you commit murder of an entire family, you're not going to go to heaven and speak to God. I think it's the other dude. Good grief. So he's saying he was possessed, not by the original house. This is where it says connected to a decades-old murders in their home. It's not in the original house of the Amityville, but by some lumber, bits of wood that he took from it. That's right, wood. Possessed from a piece of wood. I've never heard of that one before. You can be possessed by an old lamp. Maybe you've touched something, you've got a bit of blood on your hands. I'm used to those ones, but a piece of wood? Good God. So we're 10 minutes in, and every minute or so there are these images that flash, then do that kind of hypno flashing with crappy sounds. And I'm hoping at this point it's not all the way, because we're in the house, so it's not like it's the intro. So the priest was driving, and I think it was trying to show that the car was completely out of control, but I think it was doing roughly about 1 or 2 miles an hour, and the camera was just shaking around outside the vehicle, so it looked like he was really kind of like swerving and stuff, but it was pretty damn obvious he wasn't. Typical films. So you're at home, you hear a noise. You go into the cellar, saying out loud, like you do, you're on your own by the way, I know someone is there, but I can't see you. And then you touch a bit of dowling wood, like thin wood. And then you scream when something is in front of you, right? Now, the dad turned up. Do you say to someone like your dad that something was there? No idea. etc. I don't know what was there. There was something there. I don't know what it was. Or do you say, where do you get that wood from? While staring at it. It was like, what? I mean, you would kind of like, if you were screaming at something you just seen in front of you, that's what you would say to the person who just turned up. You say, I've just seen something, have you seen it? Oh my god, I was crapping myself. You wouldn't turn and say, Dad, where did you get that bit of wood from? But apparently not. Apparently that's what you would do. So Dad was watching this crap horror film and dropped off to sleep. I kind of know how he felt at this point. That bloody flashing images and sounds. It keeps going on and on and on every few minutes. It's driving me mad. Bloody annoying as well. Now, word to the wise for any budding burglars out there. You know when you go inside, into the cellar, when people are upstairs, you don't want them to know you're there? Don't sort of yell out loud, business time. Bloody strobe lights again, Jesus, my eyes. There was a killing. I started to see it, but then I had to kind of like dim my eyelids because I was going to have a seizure. Good old editing, Jesus. So, this is how you can tell when things are done not on the time that they've done the filming. So Amy leaves her house and she goes left, walking away. So she comes out of the house, Dad's there, and she sort of just wanders off because she's possessed, obviously, at this point. So she turns left. So she goes left, right? A few minutes later, the priest is driving and passes her. So you think, oh, is he coming from the left? Right, he passes her. He doesn't meet her, he passes her. And then he pulls into the car driveway. He pulls into the driveway of the house from the right. And it's like, well, how have you gone past her? Because she's only literally just gone. When you've gone the other way. Now, whoever thought screeching sounds, high-pitched noises, coupled with flashing images that happens about 70% of the time in a film is a great idea needs to think of a career change. My bloody eyes, Jesus. So, the priest is splashing holy water on the outside of the house, right? Amy's inside hissing. Of course, the strobe lights are there, so he's outside, basically dousing some water on a bit of wood, or on a tree branch or something like this. That's normal. Cut inside, Amy's screeching, and there's a flashing lights. Come back to the priest, a couple of seconds, yeah, he's just doing this on a door. Back inside, and this went on for about 10-15 times. Finally, I saw a decent death and there was no strobes. I thought, finally, about time somebody died. Now, if there wasn't as much strobe and flashing images and crap sound, it would get a higher rating than I'm about to give. Unfortunately, I have to give it a 1. I'd love to give it a 0, but IMDb doesn't do a 0. If they did, they'd actually get a lot more better ratings, because there's some shit films out there, and this is one of them. Do I recommend the film? Hell no. If you've got any time, I know, go and do some cooking, watch a film of something else, I don't know, read a book, quilt something, I don't know, whatever, chopping nails. I would say just don't bother. This is just, no. It's another film with Amityville on the front, which is crap. The other one that I did was Amityville Mount Misery Road. God, if you want to see a Misery review, that's one to watch. That's another one that's took the word Amityville in the front. And I've got loads more of them. Jesus, I must be suicidal to do this. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this awesome film review of Amityville Exorcism. Please subscribe to my channel. Got plenty of horror films. A lot of good ones. Not all great, but, you know, some. Give it the old thumbs up if you like this video. Leave a comment below. Have you watched this? Did you nearly lose your sanity, get a seizure, end up in A&E? I don't know. Okay, thank you and goodbye.